this motherfucking math, and that's why I titled it this shit. But look, bro, we'll get into this motherfucking math, how it ain't mathing. But first, let's get into these motherfuckers real quick right here. Myron Gaines debating another Jew who just, well, I'm more familiar with the 6 million, but I've been exposed to a lot of the cookie meme and everything. Oh, it's instead of pizzas, cookies on his shirt. I'm gonna start this shit up. And we'll break it down.
So I guess just the impression I've had for most of my life. I actually am just so
okay.
That probably does
every single time.
Yeah, it definitely comes with the stuff I've been hearing and and whatever. So I can at least acknowledge that.
Are you pro-Israel or not?
I am pro-Israel.
Okay. Got a Zionist in the house. Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, show some respect.
Call him.
Show some respect.
I'd like to think I'm pretty I definitely am critical of both. If I have to align myself, just like yes or no, I would say I'm definitely pro-Israel for the most part. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Close the mic so you can hear
I guess. I mean, I'd be happy to talk a little Israel. I guess.
Speak up, and guys, try to be quiet in the back, guys, just so he can, you guys can hear what he's saying. So yeah, go. Just speak up so everybody can hear. Go.
No, I mean, yeah. I guess I'd be willing to talk about it.
I mean, you said you want to come up. What's your disagreement? What's your grievance?
Mostly just, I guess, about what you were saying about some of the like figures during the hall.
Okay. What's your grievance?
I guess I'm just more familiar with like the number that's like 6 Jews were killed. It said I think 270,000.
Yeah, that's the number that the Red Cross with.
I think I've heard that. Why is it that you think that it was fewer?
Well, I mean, for them to conduct, 6 million people is a lot. Okay, I think people grossly underestimate how much 6 million really is, and for them to do that amount of killing in that short period of time, via ovens, it just simply doesn't math. Right? It just doesn't make sense. So
it's the majority.
It's just damn near impossible. And then when you find out that
we're not buying it,
there's a proclivity to lie to prop up this narrative because there is a fundamental economic benefit to doing so because we have an entire industry based around that.
I gotta stop. Got halfway through. And we're saying this on the radio, but the Jew who promoting or inflating the numbers, according to Morning America, ABC, they said, why'd you lie? My imagination. Your family said it was for money. My wife loves me. It wasn't. It was my imagination. We had to do it. And then the list goes on, but that's like the most mainstream source in America. And all the people that made it on TV before they stopped allowing them on there, saying that they were young, that they do all this sodomy and weird stuff. Sex rituals with kids. Like, come on, folks. So everything we say is from the Jew mouth itself and from official documents and records. We don't mean to, you know what I'm saying? That's where it's at. I'm sorry.
They're going to do what they got to do to make money. The entire Jewish narrative of victimhood stems from, they're going to fight tooth and nail to protect that.
So you're saying that it's like sort of profitable economically to
absolutely. There's an entire there's movies that have been made on it. There's memorials. There's museums. There's huge financial incentive to kind of run with the narrative, and then on top of that. Not only does it serve economically, it also serves politically. They're able to use that to justify a reckless foreign policy, right, that they're doing now. They're saying never again as they bomb kids and conduct a genocide, right? They say never again when they're over here passing anti-Semitism laws. Never again when the international community tries to hold them accountable. When Netanyahu got by the ICC, what did he say? Oh, this is anti-Semitism, oy vey. Like, you know, the entire Jewish victim narrative is propped up by the Holocaust, both financial, political, and sympathy reasons.
Okay. I mean, I'd certainly say, you know, that's logical, it's sound. The only, I guess, the way I
and I want to be clear, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but
No,
I just
yeah,
question how it's been said it happened by the official narrative.
I sort of disagree, like, a little bit in two ways.
All right.
Like, first of all,
We're saying.
I would say, like, the 270,000 versus 6 million in terms of, like, sympathy. I think that those two numbers resonate.
Terrible.
They're both terrible, of course, we both agree, but I mean, in terms of how much that, you know, resonates with, like, people who are going to be visiting museums and voting for certain people and politicians, like, I don't think that the two different numbers really would make a humongous difference in terms of the amount of sympathy they're gaining.
They're both atrocities, but the problem, lying or exaggerating to garner that sympathy, that's the problem.
Okay, so then the thing I was going to say is, like, just the fact that 6 million sounds like a hugely, like, overestimated number doesn't make it seem, like, impossible to me, especially all the stuff that I've heard. Like, I know that they had, like, I mean, these you know, nation ovens that they had, like, it really is ridiculous if you read about some of the, which I'm sure that you have.
Yeah. It's just not physically possible. Like, no, the cremation process takes at least 1 to 2 hours with modern tech. How are they going to do that with the World War II era technology?
They had group ovens and bring in large groups of people. Like, for example, Auschwitz, I've seen, like, pictures of some of the ovens they have. I remember hearing something about, someone said, like, 2 ovens running, like, continually over the course of, like, World War II during.
It would be impossible.
It would be impossible, but it's not true that there were 2. I mean, there were countless.
Yeah, I think the main number is 15, but even with 15, it'd be impossible. You saw 2, but
okay, I don't know, like, all of the.
That's where the meme comes from, actually. Shirts and swords, by the way, guys.
Monster? Is it with cookies?
Yeah, I got the cookie. Yeah.
You couldn't bake that many cookies.
Yeah, you can't. You just can't bake that many cookies at that time, bro. It's just man.
Again, I don't know all of the exact numbers, but, like, I've heard just from, like, stuff that I've been exposed to, like, the amount of, like, it is possible. Like, I feel like neither of us have.
Anything is possible, but what we need to get to is it probable.
But
that's where the real discussion is had. Well, but is it probable?
I just think that the answer, like, it did, like, there was enough. There were enough ovens to happen. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that. I'm disputing that it happened the way that the official narrative said 6 million happened. You know, they had a whole bunch of other, you know, ridiculous things. Oh, they turned us into soap. You know, we were hitting these gas chambers. We all, like, it just, a lot of things just don't add up. But anybody else, or do you have anything else on?
I don't think I have anything else.
All right, no worries, man. Good discussion.
Thank you for your time.
No problem, bro. Thank you for coming on the mic.
All right. That made me question. 6 million pizzas in 5 years. Small pizzeria ovens that might produce.
What if you could create your own website by saying, this is what I want? You can't.
So with pizza, you need big fucking ovens. People. So pizzas take way longer. So there we go. It would be about 3,333 pizzas per day. You know, with the right expensive 24/7 pizza, you know, if you got enough people paid for, enough big giant ovens paid for, yeah. I think it's possible with pizza. Very likely with cookies. Cookies aren't that big, folks. Or even more likely. I don't want to say very likely. I gotta be careful with my words here. So then I got, okay, straight up into Google in the AI overview. Can you cremate or gas chamber 2K a day, or does it take longer? It is not possible, I meant to put 3K. It is not possible to cremate even to 1,000 human bodies in a single day using modern cremator. So how the fuck did they do it in World War II technology? Modern civilian cremation processes are designed to handle one body at a time and typically take 2 to 4 hours for the actual procedure, plus several more hours for cooling and processing. Folks, standard modern cremation takes an average of 2 to 3 hours. Single cremator unit running continuously for 24 hours can process approximately 8 bodies in a 12-hour period. That's 16 to 18 bodies in a full 24-hour cycle, far less than 2,000. Now that we're off of the gas chambers, well, let's get gas chambers and quickly measure the extreme cost. Straight up right here that they're not 2,000 single in a single gas chamber, or in a day. It's not possible with modern equipment. And who's the experts? Who's always been the experts on gas chamber executions? America. You have to go to America to find an expert on gas chambers. So I don't know. Just thought I would. I don't know. Let's see.
I heard a little bit.
Then crap.
To get your family.
Make sure we're not muted. Okay, I might mute. No.
So what happened on that day? Asymmetric didn't need to go that far, especially when I understand the abilities and their intelligence is good. When it comes to Palestine and Israel, I agree. Israel, obviously, what they did over the past, a genocide, killing all these people, I think that's a problem. I do think that if we were to stop giving aid to Israel, force them to exercise some level of diplomacy with their Arab neighbors, where they would either A, give the Palestinians a state, or B, acclimate and let them come in to some kind of solution where they have some type of citizenship. And I think that's the biggest problem, is that, we're going to have peace in the Middle East until the Israelis, finally solve this Palestine question. Actually, as a matter of fact, that's what October 7th was, not a Palestine question, and trying to do the Abraham Accords and bring all these other Muslim countries in without solving the issue. And then obviously the guys, GISM or whatever, they're like, hey, they're trying to build a temple. They're, they don't want to answer the Palestine question. They might bring, because the big talk was they were going to try to bring Saudi Arabia into the Abraham Accords, and they were having discussions.
Right.
And that's when October 7th happened before that. But that's a whole other conversation. But I do think that, if we want peace in the Middle East, we need the Israelis to figure something out with the Palestinians, give them some sovereignty or some route of determination, whether they're given them their own state. We need to figure that out, right?
But my one question is, do you think they're more likely or less likely to do that if we completely pull out and leave them to their own devices? I think they're far more likely to just wipe them out and say, F it.
Okay, so your position is, you think America is keeping them from nuking them and getting rid of them completely?
I think they have to adhere to some form, and I understand too that obviously there's an exchange of intel and stuff that happens. And by the way, this happens with all nations, and I don't like it when Israel does it any more than I like it when the French does it. It's in Israel's best interest to have some kind of recognition, statehood, a peace deal. Is it in the interest of their nation to do that, or be in their interest for a one-state solution, Israel? And could they do it? They absolutely could.
They have nuclear weapons.
Yeah, and they're not, because they do have Big Brother a little bit going, hey, don't go too far.
Yeah, well, and Trump did say, hey, you're not going to annex the West Bank, even though they're trying to do that.
Right.
Even the people on the left, right? And the people that are in power now with the Likud party are radicals. Like, these guys want to completely get the power all the way out. So I see your perspective. You're saying, like, the United States is keeping them from going full retard in the entire region. But at the same time, we don't know, right? That's like kind of like a...
But would it be full retard? Here's the thing. Just looking at America first, okay? Would it be America first if Canada was launching? Let's just not deal. Let's say there was some kind of weird history where we said Saskatchewan is ours, whatever. If they're launching rockets and building tunnels, at a certain point go, you know what? We're taking over Canada. Right? We would do it. It would be our interest to say we're going to eliminate you. Mm-hmm. It would be in Israel's interest to eliminate Palestine. That's if left to hash out. I think, and I'm fine with it. I just take that into account.
Yeah, and this is an interesting because, and it could go either way, because Israel does have nuclear weapons and they're only country in the region that has nuclear weapons. You could argue Saudi Arabia pseudo has them because it just signed this deal. But I will tell you this, yes, it would definitely make things worse, because all these Arab countries, and they would use the Samson option and destroy everybody. So who knows? But they do obviously have nuclear weapons. But I do think if we didn't give cover for them so much and didn't give them all the support that we have, it would be either A, they would be forced to the diplomacy table and figure something out, or B, what you're saying, which is a possibility as well, is, you know, we'd have a bloodbath in that region where it would be a fight of existential crisis.
Because I think diplomacy has been tried, and like this is one thing.
I think Netanyahu hasn't exercised diplomacy to the best degree, though. I think he's done everything to sabotage it. Right? He's bragged many times on camera that he sabotaged Oslo Accords.
I think right now that's true. I think right now he's. I don't think that's true. The entire. I don't think it's true the entire time. And I think he's been more dramatic than Hamas or the Palestinian Authority has been in the past. If you look at those points in time, I think he had more talks at the table in good faith.
I think both sides obviously are, you know, double crossing each other and don't trust each other, which creates
like it's a heist movie.
A lot of the problems. Yeah, it's like,
double cross.
Yeah, we're
takes off a mask.
Yeah. You know, and very complicated history. But I think in general, I would, you know, because Netanyahu, right, since '96, has been, you know, bragging about, you know, sabotaging the Oslo Accords. He's been caught on camera talking about it in like the West Bank. There was this famous video of him like in one of the in the West Bank talking about, hey, yeah, I've sabotaged the you know, the Oslo Accords without an Yitzhak Rabin. And many people to this day, even Rabin's wife, you know, I think she wrote a memoir, a book, that she suspects to this day that it was Netanyahu that called the shot for him to be killed, because the person that assassinated Yitzhak Rabin is actually a Likud party member, a far Likud party member, and then Netanyahu came into power later. There hasn't been a two-state solution discussion really since. So
I
both of them are sabotaging it for different reasons.
Though, like, we should. In other words, if you just take the money,
I think we need to be out of it, and I don't think we should be giving them aid. Right?
Yeah,
because
and
it makes us look bad.
and the other nations around them. Yes, if you add up the money we give to, first off, we give more to like Afghanistan and Iraq. But if you add up the neighboring nations, likely, like you said, blow them up, face the map. We give them more than Israel individually.
We give Jordan a whole bunch of money because of Israel, right? Because hey, you guys are there on the borders. We don't want more war. Like, you guys got to play nice and stuff like that. So
just stop all of it.
We give a ridiculous. Yes,
I agree. Yeah. What lengths would you go to if your brothers, sisters, cousins, mothers were being held hostage? Right? Is there anything you wouldn't do to get them back?
Yeah, no, you would exercise everything in your arsenal to get them back, and I'm definitely sensitive to that with the Israelis.
And there were American hostages too, so that's where we had a dog in that fight. As far as I'm concerned, once our hostages are back, okay, we have no say in it.
Yeah,
but that's the difference. That is the difference, because that conflict was whether there was a stand down order, which I think is a legitimate conversation for people to have.
Yep.
Whether people want to talk about what transpired before that, the difference is the hostages and the gleeful celebration and sort of coveting therein. Like, we've got them. What would you not be willing to do to get your family? I think that's a fundamental difference, and I think it's a difference that determines evil.
Yeah, so I think...
It's opinion, though.
Yeah, no, and that's totally cool, and I think that's why it's important to have this discourse. My position on it is I think the Israeli retaliation... You know, I don't expect you guys to agree with everything I'm going to say.
No, and I don't. And I appreciate that we can have this conversation.
Absolutely.
I don't want to put you on...
Do it calmly and not, you know, this is the difference between, you know...
Online, you just call him a shill, and he basically calls you an Ammonite, and nobody talks. That's the problem with the online world, you know what I mean?
Cashed, right?
Yeah, we're good.
Where's the 7,000?
Ah, stop it!
By the way, they're just Jeffrey dolls. No Toys R Us.
I know, right? They all closed.
Yeah, they are closed. But yeah, so my position on this is like, so... When it comes to Israel's response to what happened on that day, I think it was asymmetric. It was ridiculous. They didn't need to go that far, especially when I understand how abilities of the Israeli military and their intelligence services, the Mossad, Shin Bet, Unit 8200, etc. These guys are good. Like, I mean, they were able to launch that Patriot attack against Hezbollah, right? They had those bombs for like 10 years. Operation Rising Lions, with what they did with Iran, where they're able to activate Mossad agents that were that lit drones in country that they built up over several months. The reason why I will never accept what Israel did in their hostages back in Gaza, I know that they better is capable of doing it because they did it with foreign governments and time.
That's the thing.
Here's the other thing too. So a lot of people don't know this, but there was a deal on the table to get those hostages back on October 10th of 2023. Because what ended up happening was the Israelis, you know, started putting out mass rapes, beheaded babies. They knew that they were going to get bombarded and Gaza was going to be leveled because they were pushing this atrocity propaganda, which later ended up getting debunked. But they...
unless these were videos from... Watch them pretty obvious. I think everyone should have to watch them.
Yes, the thing that... There was a 45-minute compilation video that Israel had that they only showed to journalists first, and then they put out publicly. With GoPros and everything.
research team, I mean, we're pretty good at it, so it was able to kind of find original sources and not just the compilation. I would say that we're blown with this idea that there were rapes or absolute just sheer brutality that challenges the definition of human evil. I wouldn't go, that happened.
Well, no, not denying it that it happened. It didn't happen the way that they're saying. Like,
Okay.
babies getting beheaded. These were all lies pushed by the ZAC organization, which the ZAC organization was the organization that was responsible for a lot of bodies on the day, because they had basically there's a catastrophe in Israel. Like, some of the first people on the scene to prepare the body for Jewish burial,
Yeah.
right? Because they have strict burial things. But Yossi Landa, I think is the guy's name. The dude made like $13 million, right? Pushing this propaganda. And then when they questioned him, like, hey, we did a little bit more investigating. There's no beheaded babies in ovens, or, a baby was pulled out of a woman's pregnant stomach. Well, none of this is true. And he was like, yeah, well, I use my imagination when we go in there. And there's footage of all this stuff out there. Now, I'm not denying that October 7th was a terrible day and that there were atrocities that were committed. Absolutely.
And kids killed, whether they were
Yeah,
killed in
kids killed.
ovens
Yeah, I've seen kids
or any way.
Yeah, and people died on that day.
Yeah.
But I do think it's important to know that on that day, the Hannibal directive Israel killed a lot of their own people. Their Apache helicopters, tank shooting into kibbutzes, because they looked at, and this is a strategy that they have, the Hannibal directive. I know you guys probably know what it is, but for your audience that might not be familiar, the Hannibal directive is a military strategy where if people are kidnapped, whether civilian or military, say it's military, but effectively everyone in Israel is a soldier too, because of they pretty much have to join and serve for 2 years.
Right.
Having to deal with of a hostage negotiation, because they know for every Israeli that gets over their Gaza, they're going to have to give 100 Palestinians in one of their prisons. They would just rather just shoot them and kill them and not have that diplomatic nightmare later on. So on that day, October 7th, it was active. The Hannibal directive was absolutely activated, and this came confirmed by Yoav Gallant, who is our equivalent to like a Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, Secretary of Defense. That was their defense minister at the time. And
I understand. I just because I don't want to get into
because 1,200 were killed that day.
Yeah, we agree, right? In the hostages, people being killed. Okay.
I just didn't like how Israel responded.
Yeah, and both sides do that, though. By the way, both sides push out propaganda. Even though the fact is, like, they still watch their own people, this all the time. But
Why do our politicians keep on saying that we must bless Israel?
Those who bless will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed.
God, those who bless Israel.
God bless our cherished ally, the state of Israel.
Because read my Bible. I know what the principles of God mean to people like me as a Christian.
Where is that? I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my...
Why do so many Christian pastors and Christian politicians continue to say we must bless Israel? It's weird because the Bible, John 4:21 through 24, clearly states, Jesus replied, "Believe me, dear woman, the time is coming when it will longer this mountain or in Jerusalem. You Samaritans know very little about the one you worship, while we Jews know all about him. For salvation comes through the Jews. But the time is coming, it is here now, when true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. The Father is looking for those that way. For God asserts, those who worship him must worship in spirit and in truth." So this very clearly states that it's no longer a physical place, but a spiritual worship that actually matters. But if you guys want another example, we'll go farther into the Bible. 28:29. There is no longer Jew and Gentile, slave or free, male and female. For you are all one in Christ Jesus. Now that you belong to Christ, you are the true children of Abraham. You are his heirs, and God's promise to Abraham belongs to you. So here we have Paul removing the ethnic distinction that the chosen ones are those from Israel, and instead the ones who stand united in Christ through faith. In the New Testament, the children of Abraham, that is, the true Israel, are defined not by bloodline, nationality, or ancestry, but by faith in Jesus Christ. In the Old Testament, the children of Abraham, people of physical Israel. So it's different now, yet we still bless Israel, the current state of Israel. Pastors like Greg Locke or whatever his name is say that, well, we're not saying the political Israel, you very clearly are when you're telling people that you're willing to rain down missiles on another country in support of that country.
And get a great big missile and
blow that wicked dome of the rock plumb off of the spot where it's standing right now, so we can get that third temple rebuilt and usher in the coming of Jesus. Blow the whole thing to kingdom come. Rebuild that third temple. Glory land. Amen. Listen, I'm not a Palestine liberal that runs around screaming free Palestine, not knowing anything from biblical nature. I'm an American person. I'm a big believer in fixing the problem in my own house before I cross the street and try to correct neighbors' problems. Anyways, why do Christian politicians and pastors believe this way? Well, I think I might know a little bit of why. The Scofield Reference Bible was created by C.I. Scofield in 1909. Before he was a Bible teacher and pastor, he was a lawyer and politician. As a matter of fact, a quite corrupt lawyer, put it that way. And in 1909, the Oxford Press published his interpretation of the Bible, now known as the Scofield Bible. In simple terms, it was the first time the Bible had notes. The notes that you see in your Bibles now, it was the first time that ever happened in the Bible. Millions of people bought into this Bible. Now, what were some of the main differences between this interpretation and prior interpretations of the Bible? Well, one, a pre-rapture, which essentially states that prior to the rapture, Christians will be saved through faith alone. Now, some Protestant Christians will argue that's not what it says. However, that is essentially the essence of what most Protestant churches preach. Now, I'm a person that goes to a Protestant church. Understand this. There's much more needed than just faith to get you to heaven. Yes, faith is the building block of everything. However, we also have to practice our religion. It's like any other relationship. I can't just say I love you and expect you to be married to me the rest of my life. I have to put in work. This pre-tribulation rapture instilled a massive sense of complacency in the Christian community. And if you ever with a Muslim about faith, they'll usually bring up the fact that Christians are incredibly complacent in their faith, and they're not wrong. Christians are, including myself. We have this. Now, we are always going to fall short of perfection. We will always be sinful. It is in our nature. However, we can't just accept that and move on. We have to at least try. Just any other relationship in life. In modern America, Christianity, it's, oh, I go to church on Sunday and I listen to my pastor talk about one verse and I'll be saved no matter what I do. I won't have to suffer when the end times come. Okay, American Christians, go ask the Christians in Syria or Nigeria or Palestine if suffering exists. Or go ask the Christians that died during the Bolshevik era of Russia. Go ask them if they suffered. Christians suffer, and they suffer a lot. So I'm speaking directly to American Christians, as we to be the most complacent of all Christians in the world, which is why I think we're allowing all these evil powers to systematically tear our religion down as they are. It's because of our complacency. We have to be stronger in our faith. Another major disinterpretation from others was the literal of Israel to the Holy Land. Now, before this interpretation was known, and it was a thing that obviously the new state of Israel, as I stated in my verse, is a spiritual thing. God's chosen people are to accept Christ in their life. Our interpretation, the Scofield Bible, completely switched this. For the modern state of Israel, which was established in May of 1940, the Christian Zionism was those to accept Christ. Thing. God's chosen people are those who accept Christ in their life. How this interpretation, the Scofield Bible, staged for the modern state of Israel, which was established in May of 1948 after World War II, and led to the birth of Christian Zionism, which believes we protect the modern state of Israel, which is what Christians actually are, Christian Zionists. And it's just funny to me because, one, the Bible states that Israel today is not the state of Israel as talked about in the Bible, but also the people that live in the current state of Israel, they don't need Christ into their lives, so why would they be God's chosen people? If you're a Christian and you believe in the New Testament, it's almost contradictory to believe the Jews of Israel are God's chosen people if they don't even accept Christ in their lives. It just doesn't even make that much sense, to be honest. I'm just some random dude in the street. I'm not a pastor, so I can't speak on it. No, I'm gonna talk on it because I want to. And a little fun note for you guys to just think about, okay? Just to think about this. Revelation 2:9. I know blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So we wonder why these politicians and pastors continue to say we must bless the state of Israel when someone like myself, who's new in my faith, who just opens a Bible and reads it and does some research, quickly realizes that's not the case that they're talking about. Well, it's because of a couple things. One, false prophets exist. Jesus talked of this. Two, these people could be getting paid, $7,000 per post or whatever. Or three, they just learned wrong. The Scofield Reference Bible interpretation is the go-to interpretations for Christian universities, pastors, school, Bible studies, and the modern Protestant church. It's what everyone goes to. So it makes sense that they would believe that. However, if you look into it a little bit, it's clearly not the case. That's why we cannot treat our pastors as God. We can listen to our pastors and learn, but the only truth is God and God himself. We must read the Bible to actually learn. I'll leave you with this to not leave you too scared. Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews but are not. I will make them come to worship before my feet and to know that I love thee. So, things are bad right now and things suck, but Jesus always comes out on top. See you on the next one. Adios.
I got I muted up on the YouTube to prevent feedback. I gotta go, or I'll sleep through the damn 5 news. Crazy. You stupid brother. They've been fucking the whole time's what that means. Clearly this guy's not getting no bitches. Bro, I ain't even getting pussy here lately because I do this all day here the last 2 months. 3 months. I've been kind of just to myself. So fuck out of here. Not that I can't get no pussy, but that I don't. I don't care. Like a wife one day, but shit. I'm famous. Fuck. I thought that was like a mainstream thing. I don't care, bro. Sponsored by Carfax. Fuck out of here. If you got a local business want to get sponsored, we got a few more affiliate made American businesses and companies that provide storable food, herbal supplements, things like that. We need to combat these chemicals and the detox from the vaccine. We got approved with another one and a few others soon. So if you know anybody, hit us up. Local business made in America. We gotta build the society we want. Schmooly, unhinged. So I go till 5 and Huck. It's only. AI admits that Israel and or satanic. They kidnap Jewish kids too in Israel. Well, okay. 47, yeah, bullshit. Maybe. I guess it says around 47. Well, I don't know if I trust that. I'm about to look outside and see on that door. There is a fog. Should be seeing it right now. Oh, I'm sorry. You might see some fog. But Saturday night into Sunday AM, it's going to be visibility less than a mile possible. Late Saturday night to Sunday morning. There's fog possible. Medium high chance of visibility under a mile, much of eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas. Expect rapid changes in visibility over short distances that could impact travel. So we encourage listeners to use caution while driving, reduce your speed, and leave extra distance ahead of your vehicle. Chance of it today. About to go look outside and see if we got fog on the hill here. Got live weather information during severe weather if something does happen Sunday night. Actually got a chance of heavy rainfall, chance of severe storms. Very light. I think they moved more heavy rain into Monday. Sunday night and Monday with up to 25% chance of excessive rainfall exists Monday and Monday night, mainly across areas south and east of I-44. Marginal risk of thunderstorms, severe storms will exist from late morning into afternoon hours on Monday. Continue to monitor the forecast. Stay tuned here for warnings. Try to get some way to get on the air here. Can't go nowhere Monday, I guess. So, low to mid 60s as you get north, upper 50s, northern part of the states here in Oklahoma. With the lows, lower 50s to mid 40s. Until Wednesday, it drops down to the upper and mid 30s. So, let's get back into it. These are Jewish rabbis talking about this. God will turn only once. Even mere Christianity was totally destroyed. These are rabbis for radio listeners. I ask you, is it good news that Islam invades? Excellent news that it means the coming of the Messiah. Who praise the Europeans? To the extent you have no idea. You will have no place for the difficulty Israel, you pay for it 100-fold. When the Middle East gone, Edom, that's what Christians say where it comes from. It's there. That place will be gone too. That's what Islam's going to do. Islam is the problem of Israel. You have to know it. Come on, Islam. Hang on, folks. gay chick with short hair. Says 19,350 from APAC Public Records. What's been released? All right. such as it's 5 o'clock. Shit. Let me get this bar off and we'll switch it over. Find the fucking bullshit. One of the riskets lies and type. Google if possible. Says no. So may another curse from God, because if they report blessed to be in box cleaned, if Shit. We're back. Sorry, guys. Quit. You're not fucking. Come on. phone. We gotta get this bar off. Gotta get this bar off. Fuck it. I forgot to get this bar off, but I don't know where this fucking phone went. Make sure. Holy shit. I gotta validate myself with this quote. Alright. Oh no. Okay, let's see. Wait. Oh, I'm still too, bro. Y'all see me though, right?